Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Kelly Volk.
And I'm Don Jorgensen. As KELOLAND continues to dig out from last week's snowstorm, parts of the southern plains were hit with tornadoes and other powerful winds.
Yeah, police in Norman, Oklahoma say they received about a dozen reports of people being injured in the storms. Others in Michigan faced a fifth day without power following last week's ice storm.
And in California, a series of winter storms will continue moving through that state Wednesday. And parts of the Northeast that have seen little snow this winter are under a winter storm warning.
While the winter storm is done in KELOLAND, there are still slick spots in the road in parts of the state. The Highway Patrol posted this picture this afternoon of heavy fog along Highway 81 near Watertown. Troopers are warning drivers there are areas of black ice and to not use cruise control.
Good idea. And the South Dakota Department of Transportation says this was the view nearly every plow driver encountered as the state was hit with that winter storm last week. You can barely see the road or even the vehicles in the ditch up ahead. The DOT is thanking all of its crews who have been working hard all winter long to keep the roads safe.
And if you have a sidewalk in front of your house or business, make sure it's safe for people to get around town. According to a city ordinance in Sioux Falls, property owners have 48 hours to clear ice and snow from their sidewalks after winter weather hits. Otherwise, you could face a fine.
Any snow and ice, if we get a trace of snow, it's still required. Our ordinance requires all that snow be removed. If it's ice, you may have to get a little salt melt.
Coming up on KELOLAND News at 5, we'll highlight one part of the sidewalk you don't want to forget about when you're clearing snow and ice.
Yeah, with that melting and then it refreezes overnight. It's a little slippery out there in some spots.
Might get slippery tonight.
Now, let's find out. Let's get a check of the forecast now with meteorologist Adam Rudd.
The short answer is yes. We'll have that refreeze occurring tonight, so you will want to keep that in mind with temperatures falling well below freezing really across the board. We had cloud cover and fog even to start off the day in Sioux Falls, but we've rebounded quite nicely. Blue skies above Falls Park, 37 with a northwest wind, though, at 18 miles per hour. It has been a breezy, if not out times windy day across the majority of the area. Aberdeen, you've had sunshine for a better part of the day, so you've really won out overall. 40 up in Brown County, a north wind at 15 miles per hour, really helping out with that melting process. 38 for Sisseton as well as in Mitchell, 40 Chamberlain, 39 in Rapid City. 28, though, towards Spearfish, where they're actually seeing a little bit of moisture move on in there. We'll check on them in just a moment. But there's that breeze. It was stronger earlier today, but still 15 to 25 miles per hour for a sustained wind east of the James River Valley. Not as bad out to the west, although we'll see that calm down a little bit more as we head into the night. Wind gusts haven't been too terrible, 25 to 30 miles per hour at times for localized higher gusts over the last about an hour or so. So we do have clearer skies building into the east, but out west, I mentioned we've had a little bit of moisture building in the form of rain at first and even some snow showers right along northern Lawrence County along I-90, and then into southern Butte County in the Belle Fourche area, we've seen some snow showers develop. So be mindful of that out that way. Everybody else, though, looking pretty good for now. Then we have this winter weather advisory beginning tomorrow through Wednesday morning along the North Dakota border. We'll have a little more on that as we head through the hour. Before your day tomorrow, the further south you go, yes, we could see some snow showers, but lighter stuff compared to what they'll see further north. Highs will be in the low to mid 30s. Also up in northeastern KELOLAND, either side of 30 for your high on Tuesday. Meanwhile, out west, 30s and some 40s where they could see some rain mixing in with that snow at first, then becoming snow later in the evening. So February has a bit of a bumpy end. We'll see how March goes from there as we take a look at the extended forecast coming up.
Thanks, Adam. Today marks 50 years since the occupation of Wounded Knee. Members of the American Indian Movement took over the town on the Pine Ridge Reservation on February 27, 1973. The 71-day occupation quickly morphed into an outpouring of anger over the plight of Native Americans and injustices dating back centuries. The standoff with the U.S. government became violent at times, and 2 Native American men were killed. The siege sowed divisions on the reservation and also left a lasting impact on members of the Oglala Sioux tribe and the future of Native American activism.
The new Oyate Health Center is now open in Rapid City. Hundreds of people turned out this weekend to celebrate the opening of the new facility. The health center is now located at 3200 Canyon Lake Drive. The new building offers more services to patients as well as behavioral health unit. The Oyate Health Center plans to employ 600 people. The building itself is also eco-friendly and includes the use of solar panels. Well, that's not the only new health system celebrating some big changes. The Sioux Falls VA Mental Health Outpatient Building is now open. Services include psychiatry, peer support, suicide prevention, and therapy. And the new location is just west of the main hospital entrance driveway on 22nd Street. The homeless programming and primary care mental health program will stay in their current locations.
The Orthopedic Institute also plans to build a new clinic and administrative office in T. The facility will be located near the new I-29 and West 85th Street interchange. This will replace the current Orthopedic Institute location at the Avera Health main campus in Sioux Falls. The Institute plans to hold a groundbreaking later this year with a grand opening in 2025. The Orthopedic Institute offers patients relief for any joint, bone, or muscle pain without requiring a doctor's referral. Well, the CDC is preparing to spend $5 million to improve access to health care in rural areas across the country.
Congress approved the money as part of the latest government funding bill to establish an Office of Rural Health. KETLELAND News Washington, D.C. correspondent Jesse Turner reports on why lawmakers fought for the funds.
Nearly 60 million Americans live in rural areas.
Rural health is so critical.
But a growing number of healthcare providers are moving away. Research from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill found about 24 rural hospitals have closed in the past 3 years.
When the rural areas don't have that access, by the time they get to a specialist in a larger town, their problem has grown and it's so much worse.
To help patients get the same care no matter where they live, Mississippi Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith worked to include $5 million in the latest government funding bill for the CDC to start an Office of Rural Health.
That was an arm wrestle, too, to get that in there. So we want it to be money well spent.
The CDC is still in the early stages of setting up the office, which it hopes will become a one-stop shop for connecting federal resources to the different needs of local providers. Hyde-Smith said the pandemic exposed wide gaps in rural versus urban public health.
Right now, it is critical that we take a look at this.
The CDC said its office will figure out how to fill rural public health gaps in new ways. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.